Welcome back, collective. All right. So, I spoke on, actually, it's a video that will be posted later on in the week about the fact that last night I was getting a lot of downloads about the Pleiadian mission. We've got the Hierophant coming out here as a jumper. So, in fact, this card actually turned up in the last reading, so that's quite interesting because I've already started shuffling. So we'll notice on this Hierophant card how there's like this staircase, and this staircase is leading up into the ethers, into the 5 dimensions, the 5th dimension. So one of the things that the Starseeds are doing here are to help raise the vibration of the planet. And I have got a lot of downloads. I started getting these Pleiadian downloads probably about 13 years ago, but I know that they started much earlier than that because when I was younger, I heard the song, I don't even know, like, I'm gonna call it Beds Are Burning song. And I think it's by Midnight Oil. So I am going to leave a link to that song in the description box. So essentially that song is about giving back the land in Australia to the Indigenous people, and sort of it doesn't speak in this song to this, but what we're really talking about is the fact that colonialism is maybe not the best practice, and that as we elevate spiritually, that we remove this need for expanding and controlling other areas without their consent. So the downloads that I have had are part of my journey, my destination. One of my spiritual journeys as a Pleiadian Starseed is to help preserve the DNA of the Indigenous people. You know how we talk about, 13,500, 26,000 year cycles. The Pleiadians assisted with a lot of Indigenous communities making sure that their heritage was able to survive those catastrophes. And with the rise of colonialism, we see a lot of that culture getting squashed. So right now we're going to do a reading on the Pleiadian Starseeds. And in fact, I'm shuffling this deck, and that's not even the deck that I'm called to use straight away. So I think I'm going to start this off with a bit of a Celtic cross, and we'll just dive into it. What do the Pleiadian Starseeds need to know about their mission in regards to saving Indigenous culture? We've got the 8 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So you can see this 8 of Cups is really, really dark and desolate, and all of the cups that you can see there are broken, and you can't see any new cups. or full cups. So what I'm seeing here is just that this is the destruction, and the sort of destitute place that we find. And I'm gonna say some things, and I don't always mean what I say, because culture is alive and well, especially here in Australia in the Indigenous communities. The Indigenous cultures are thriving. Mobs still have language, but obviously it's not as good as it could have been or would have been, if they didn't have to survive colonialism. So just a couple more cards coming out here. We've got the Ace of Cups, and this is an opportunity for love and an opportunity to have our cup filled. And what I mean by that is it's an opportunity for us to be filling the cups of the Indigenous communities. All right, let's put these back and have a bit more of a shuffle. So with this collective, a lot of people just want to hang out and have a read of what's happening on the spiritual streets, and I really like that. I think that that's an interesting way to go about your readings, and all the power to you. Like, I think that's kind of a fun thing to do. But my purpose of creating this collective was to call in those starseeds and light workers that know that they have a mission here, so that we can actually compound our energy and get working on our mission together. So for those starseeds and light workers, especially the Pleiadians, who feel like they have some connection to Indigenous culture, what is it that we can say? Let's get a bit of a story happening here. First card that has come out is the Wheel reversed. Wheel of Fortune reversed. The downloads that I have from that are that we are not here to change destiny. All right. We are not here to change destiny. That's an interesting message. With the crossing energy, we have the 8 of Wands. And so what I'm seeing here is that, the lightning will strike. Oops, sorry, I've got that upside down. The lightning will strike. The lightning will get rid of what is not meant to be here in its own way. In the bottom position, what is under us, we have the 2 of Cups. So to me, this tells me that the grounding position here, the grounding energy, is one of love and sharing and caring. And I think that, that definitely is what I am feeling about my journey. Like, my personal journey is all about learning as much as I can about Indigenous culture and embracing as many Indigenous people into my friend circle as I can. In the past position here, we have the 9 of Wands. The moon, it can be about what's hidden, but it can also be about what we don't want talked about or we don't want brought to the light. So in the past here, I see that potentially some people that are part of this collective have neglected their connection with the indigenous people of the land that they're on. And with the magician coming out as the crowning energy, we have the opportunity to change that. We've got all of the tools in our tool belt to fix that situation. In the future position, we have the Empress. So that energy of being pregnant, the energy of opportunity, of abundance. I just want to pull a clarifier here. For this. So clarifying the Nine of Wands, we have got the Hierophant reversed and the Mother of Cups. The Hierophant is about established orders and institutions. So coming up in reverse, what this is, and with the Mother of Cups, the Queen of Cups, what this is saying to me is that the people that have been feeling stuck and have not yet embarked on their journey to work with and connect with the indigenous people on their land is because emotionally they have not felt like they were able to embrace the culture. They didn't understand the culture and the traditions enough to feel emotionally comfortable in that space. And maybe that's why it has been hidden. So let's look at how we can move forward and what it is that we can do to start working with these other people. And really, we are the other people, right? If you are North American, you are going to want to be engaging with some of the stories and people. We really want to emphasize that we want to be engaging with people. The totem animals. Get to know a little bit about the country that you're living on and the original people and their cultural beliefs, because preserving those is a part of what our mission is here. And you know, I'm gonna just throw some statistics out, and I'm not 100% sure on them, so I can fact check myself, but I believe that only 2% of Australia is Indigenous Australians. And so how do we perpetuate culture and keep culture and all of the wisdom that these people have is in their DNA, it's in their bloodlines, and they have special rights and song lines and marriage lines, and they have a way that they've preserved that culture for 100,000, 120,000, 160,000. I don't really know. I don't really want to make a judgment call as to how long they've been here. There's certain starseed readers who will give you some intel and information as to how long they believe the indigenous people have been here. But our evidence that we have from the mining sites and from examining archaeological evidence here is in Australia is somewhere around the vicinity of 80 to 120,000 years. And I think that's from the Rio Tinto excavation site that they did just maybe, I don't know, less than 18 months ago. Okay, so I'm going to form a little bit of a story here. Let's see what we have. I'm not necessarily going to read reversals. We have the 9 of Swords. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have death and rebirth. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the King of Swords. Okay, so right away, what I'm seeing is this is the emotional state that we can only imagine that some Indigenous people must feel based on the atrocities of colonialism. We've got the 9 of Swords, and you can see here all of the grief that this woman is experiencing. You know, she's crying. You could think of some of these as her soul family that have passed on. We have the 5 of Pentacles, and this is about feeling left out, feeling out in the cold, not understanding, say, this new modern culture that we have brought in on this country, on this land. Obviously, death and rebirth here is, you know, this reading I'm hoping is going to kickstart a new journey. And this journey should involve the the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So the Knight of Pentacles is in the traditional Rider Waite. He is got all of these fields in behind him, and they are all plowed. The Knight of Pentacles is about loyalty, stability, and being in something for the long term. The Knight of Swords has this beautiful wise owl down here. And so what I'm seeing from the Knight of Swords is that what we want to be building is honesty, loyalty, and authenticity. And that's what I meant by honesty. The wisdom that we are to be gaining by interacting with these other cultures. And so I'm going to move some of these cards up here so that I can focus in on this message down here, because I think this is, and my table is a bit sticky. I don't know how that is. I have not. Oh, I was having wine and cheese and doing readings the other night. All right, that's what that is. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which means that we want to bring some sort of loyalty and steadfast in our journey, and we're looking to come in with the King of Swords energy. So that is not making things up, not overpowering. You know how the Emperor can be overpowering with what it is that he knows and wants to share? The King of Swords can be somebody who sits back and is willing to take the time to think and to listen. So I think that that is a really, really good energy that we can assume when we go sit in corroborate or we go sit in powwow not coming at it in a way where we are willing to give up our ego, give up all of the things that we have to say for a while, and taking the time to listen and to understand so that we can build that sense of loyalty and companionship. Let's get a couple more messages here for the collective. From the Pleiades, what do the Pleiadians have to say to these starseeds who have not yet embraced their mission working with Indigenous cultures and communities? We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Six of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Sorry, I'll show you the cards in one moment. And we have the Five of Wands. Okay. So the Six of Swords, or sorry, the Queen of Swords is a person who knows their own truth. They are very comfortable with their own truth and guiding their own ship based on the knowledge and wisdom that they have. We have got the Six of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. So to me, this says moving on, the Six of Swords, moving on to collaboratively guiding our ship. And the way that we're going to do that is with the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is about, it can be about discussing philosophy and discussing our understanding of the universe. And so once this stability is generated and created with your local tribe and your local mob, it says that we're going to have the opportunity here to joust, to bring our understanding of spirituality and the Indigenous understanding of spirituality together so that we can start, imagine all of these wands in this card are like our neurons. And so what we're doing is we're sort of bringing them together and jousting each other so that we can create new neural pathways in regards to our spiritual center and spiritual understanding. All right, 3 more cards for the collective. What can the Pleiadian Starseeds hope to gain by following this message and following their soul mission of interacting and connecting with Indigenous cultures? The Eight of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, I am going to figure out how I can bring this forward as a message for you. Okay. So what we see first here is this, to me, says that by connecting with the Indigenous people, that we are going to be able to, like, see how this lady looks like she is looking for, she's longing about something that is lost and forgotten. She's longing for something that she doesn't see within herself. And I think that a lot of the Pleiadian Starseeds are going to, by connecting with the Indigenous in their area, that they are going to be connecting with and picking up lost pieces of themselves. And remember, at the beginning of the reading, I said that this sad woman, you know, when we think about all of the Indigenous people that have been murdered and brutally slaughtered, we thought of some of these as this soul, their soul group. Well, what we have to gain here by connecting is gaining some of these guardians. You see how, you know, she's walking off into the sunset and she's got all of these birds acting as her guardians. So for a lot of us soul seeds, what we gain by spending time with the Indigenous culture is we pick up lost pieces of our galactic DNA, and we pick up spirit guides that are here to help us as we instantiate the new Earth Kingdom here on Earth. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please do go and spend some time with your local tribes, mobs, and I would love to do some collective readings with the Indigenous people. So just quickly before we go, I was having a yarn with this auntie and I met her through, I was just at the bus stop and I met one of these young girls. She was, you know, still in her teens, Indigenous woman, and we started chatting and she's like, hey, I'll take you over to my auntie's, they'll be having dinner. So I went over to her auntie's, and so her auntie comes out and starts talking to me about culture and telling me some really probably profound and bits of information I don't have the authority to talk about, but talking to me about crocodile totem. And I pull out my deck. This deck. And I do a reading for her, and I'm explaining to her how I use the cards and what this gift is, and you know, this telepathic gift is, and how I go about utilizing that for good. So I go to do a reading for her, and the first card that came out was the Two of Swords. One thing, like, there's quite a few Indigenous people who are scared of crows, and so it took a little while because when I did a reading for her, the Two of Swords came out first, and she freaked out. There we go. Freaked out. She's like, this witch is trying to bind me. This witch is trying to bind me. So it took us having a couple of more discussions. I haven't gone back with the tarot decks yet, so maybe I'll do a reading and see if I feel called to going back and doing some more tarot readings for my local Indigenous aunties. But funny stories, good times. That's it for now, collective. I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.